red zone, got close, settled for the 3.
40.
Starting deep at the 6-yard line. And over the middle, and no. Looking for Dressler again, and it falls incomplete. Rod Smith and Dwayne Ford in the booth, and Lee Jones down to the sideline. Lee.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Of course, I mentioned that Stevie Beggs. This is the first time back in Saskatchewan since, of course, he played for them in 2008, 2009 when they went to the Grey Cup. Now, earlier in the game, he was talking to, of course, his former teammates, including having some fun with Weston Dressler, but this is the best he's had so far during this trip. On the flight to Saskatchewan, he had coffee spilled on his knee, and his luggage didn't make it. In fact, his luggage is in Jamaica right now, guys. Kind of a warmer spot, guys.
Oh, geez. And that's Dallas Baker on the receiving end. The luggage is in Jamaica.
I got to tell you, I'm a little jealous of Stevie Beggs' bags right now.
Maybe a lot of people are right now on a chilly day in Regina. And if it wasn't for playing football, Stevie Beggs might want to be with his bags right now.
Well, the important thing is that his equipment made it here. Aside from being having that coffee spilled on him, apparently also struck by the cart that the flight attendants take up and down the aisle. So hopefully the game goes better than the trip.
Baker's catch made it a first down for the Riders. So Stevie's in Regina, Bags is in Jamaica. And a short gain on first down, so second and long now. Bags had some great years working with John Chick the other end when they went to the Grey Cup and nearly won it over Montreal in 09. It was Chick, Bags there, and I guess now with Hickman, with Justin Hickman having the kind of year he's having, it's more Hick Bags they call it on the Ticats this year. And on second down and under pressure, and just tossing it away for Brandon West, but he can't hang on to it, and this drive not going as well as that first one for the Riders. They'll be kicking it away.
Well, the decision to punt for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a good one. Going back to the kick and the coverage from Justin Medlock, pinning the Riders deep, and now a good stand by the defense. You see the value of this exchange in field position.
Darian Durant on the sidelines just
47.
watching. Not expected to play again this year with a broken bone in his foot. Chris Milo, a nice punt with that wind. It was low and driving. And Marcus Thigpen's doing what everyone else is, running east, looking for the ball as it goes back to the dead ball line. That ball might end up in Manitoba if it keeps rolling like that. Put it down as 108 yards. The punt by Milo in Regina. If you were just watching this, you witnessed a tie for the longest punt in the history of the CFL. 108 yards, Dwayne, by Chris Milo.
Marcus Thigpen figured he was giving him lots, right? He lined up around his own 50-yard line. Well, this one in the air alone went 15 yards further than Thigpen ever thought it would. And then you add in that incredible bounce.
Zenon Andrusician of the Argos in 1977, the only other one to hit a punt that far, thanks to a nice roll and taken out of bounds is Thigpen.
Mario, mom and dad, Villanick, whole family, love you guys, thank you. See you in a month.
Maybe see you in 2 weeks, actually. Chris Milo used to winning national championships at Laval. It's not going that way quite this year in Regina, but this guy has been one of the bright spots, pressed into duty with Luca Conji out for the year. Eddie Johnson had a shot at the job, but Milo has stepped up and, as that last punt showed, delivered.
108 yards. Yeah, he had a great career in college with Laval. Aaron Kelly, shy of the first down. So, is it fair to say we'll see if Justin Medlock can match that? I don't think so, going against this breeze.
Yeah, not in this quarter.
Not in this quarter, for sure. But he'll come on and he'll punt again. It is quite a stiff breeze that is gusting. And it was a beautiful punt to begin with, but of course the roll was incredible, going right back through the dead ball line. And another point on the board, by the way, for the Riders, of course, too, at a 4-0 lead now. barely 8. And a return, too. Nearly blocked. And the Riders, with a quarterback change coming up, are in business here down around the Hamilton 32. Spoke to Ken Miller yesterday, said it was part of the plan to bring in Cole Bergquist, his third-string quarterback, to give him a look in the third series of each half at the very least. So we're on the third series now, and Bergquist has been given great field position because of the punting game. That punt by Medlock against the wind, which was nearly blocked, went 13 yards. It was returned 15. So Bergquist and the Riders in business already at the Hamilton 33. Bergquist, product of Montana, had a great college career there, signed in 2009 by the Riders. He has not thrown a pass in 2011, and this will be his first. And it is a deep ball for Dressler. The coverage is there by Marcel Young, who was right with him. So that first pass this season by Bergquist falls incomplete, but he was going big.
Well, the first thing we know about Cole Bergquist is the kid isn't shy. Going for the home run ball right off the bat. Once again, good coverage in that matchup between Marcel Young and Weston Dressler. If he throws this one a little bit earlier, though, and more on a line, he might have a shot at Dressler, but because he throws it for Dressler to run under it, Young's got a chance to recover, and Young may have gotten away with a little bit of a push off there on the receiver.
Bergquist, 25 years of age. He was 31-5. His record second winningest in school history at Montana, and throwing again. And that one is incomplete, intended for Kerry Koch. So right away, a 3rd and 10, and 2 incomplete passes in the first series for Bergquist this season.
Well, Bergquist out of that same Montana program that gave the Canadian Football League none other than Dave Dickinson. Former CFL Most Outstanding Player, current offensive coordinator with the Calgary Stampeders.
Bob Ovilovich, too, if you want to go back far enough, I believe. Montana product?
Absolutely.
Obi, the general manager of these Ticats.
Party's alive, 94.
So Chris Milo with that wind at his back. Distance, no problem whatsoever. As they pop in 3 more on the board. So a more conventional score of 7-0 for Saskatchewan now. Well, CFL on TSN football action continues tonight. It's the Lions hosting the Edmonton Eskimos, a crucial game for first place in the West. Live coverage beginning at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific on TSN and TSN Mobile TV. Should be a good one, Dwayne.
Well, no doubt if that one lives up to its billing. Critical is the word. Edmonton Eskimos, how about that turnaround? A chance to lock up first place in the West.
Had that great start at 5-0, and then the Eskimos struggled a bit more mid-season. BC came on, won 8 straight until that streak ended last week against the Tiger Cats. And a great play there by the middle linebacker, Chris Graham, on the tackle there, and a loss for the Ticats.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders with a 7-0 lead. Not what you'd expect, given what these teams have done in terms of first quarter points throughout the season. The Hamilton Tiger Cats leading the league in that area. Saskatchewan Roughriders last. But again, Saskatchewan in the wind, kind of teaming up for this lead.
Graham tracking down Avon Colburn for a loss of 3, so 2nd and 13. Porter rolls to his right. Oh, Stala couldn't hang on and then was nearly drilled by Jackson. He's got a piece of him running by.
Well, Dave Stala not so sticky on that one as Quinton Porter finds him in the flat. You see the Hamilton Tiger Cats go into that sprint out game with Porter in the lineup. Something he's a little more effective at than Kevin Glenn.
So now Justin Medlock has to fight the wind again. His last punt went for a net of -2. He got it 13 yards. The return was 15. It's a substantial breeze, over 30 kilometers an hour and gusting. Ticats trailing early on. They really have not been able to muster very much against this wind. And that one, just look at it get picked up low and driving, and a struggle even to get up to the Ticats 50, and a no yards flag coming out. Flags all over the field right now. So Will Bergquist be given another chance after the 2 and out the last time he was on the field? The flag tells the story there, and it's all to Saskatchewan's advantage right now.
On the Hamilton Tiger Cats right now wishing.
No yards. Hamilton.
Ticats wishing that either Dave Stella had caught that ball and stayed in bounds to keep the clock running, or that they had been able to stretch out that play a little bit, which would have allowed them to punt with the win. But now you see the advantage Saskatchewan gains, all because of that 1 second.
One more chance with it. Watch what the wind does to this. That's a breeze.
Well, it's like he's kicking it against a wall.
As opposed to Milo, who kicked that last one like it had rocket boosters. And it's Dinwiddie back in the game, so just the one series for Bergquist. And Brandon West had it right in the midst. Could have brought it down at the 15, and instead it is 2nd and 10 as the first quarter comes to an end. West couldn't hang on, but now the Ticats have the win. This is the statistical story of one quarter between the Ticats and the Riders here in Regina, Dwayne. You know it's a different sort of game when the punting's probably a bigger story than anything.
Yeah, it really is, and in a close football game, that could really play out over the course of 60 minutes. You saw the advantage in field position that Saskatchewan held in this football game. You'll get a kick out of that stat at the bottom. The average punt for each team, Justin Medlock averaging just 23.3 yards, and then you factor the net into that as well, because it's tough for the cover guys to cover those short punts, and of course the 108-yarder by Chris Milo.
Now the story we wanted to watch coming in, it's been Quinton Porter so far. I assume we're going to see Kevin Glenn at some point, because that offense has been struggling against the wind anyway. Yeah,
and we'll see here whether Quinton Porter gets an opportunity with the wind at his back, whether Kevin Glenn is the guy who's going to have a little bit more of the ball in his hands in that situation.
So it's still Dinwiddie and the Riders to start the second quarter with the football. Rolling out to his left, and now looking for Getzlaff, and just another drop. We've seen a few of them today by both teams, but Getzlaff frustrated, Dinwiddie frustrated there too, because now it's a punting situation for the Riders.
Again, you can't fault Ryan Dinwiddie on the last two passes. First to Brandon West, this one to Chris Getzlaff. Dinwiddie has thrown the ball well so far in this football game, including that one, his first against the wind.
Had a good opening drive. They took the ball, they marched down, they ended up with a field goal, got it down to around the 5-yard line, but couldn't punch it in. And now Milo's going to find out what it's like. A low driving punt, not particularly good, as you might expect, because the wind is so strong. And it's Thigpen on the return, and it is Thigpen who is taken down at around the 22-yard line, before that at about the 17. So Quinton Porter is still coming in. It would be kind of unfair if you're measuring these QBs to say, okay, Quinton, good job against the wind. Kevin, you get the win this time around. So we do expect to see both QBs, but Porter is still the incumbent, and see what he gets to do, because they could not do very much at all in the first quarter of this game.
Really haven't seen any Avon Coburn thus far either.
His last carry was a loss of 3. They fake it to him and then toss it out for Dave Stella. And a good start for the Ticats in this drive, up over the 30 and a first down, Hamilton.
You think back to the great start Dave Stella got off to this season, 7 touchdowns in the first 7 games of the year. It's cooled off considerably since then, at least in terms of scoring. Just 1 touchdown in the last 9 games. Most outstanding Canadian in the East a year ago.
Ticats trail by 7 early in the second quarter. Porter to throw it again. Off to his left, and he has Thigpen shy of the first down, just a couple of yards shy, with Chris McKenzie in the coverage.
Marcus Thigpen, the speedster, all part of the changing Hamilton Tiger Cat offense. It's gone through quite an evolution, a metamorphosis over the course of this season. You think back to the start of the year when it was assumed that guys like Arlen Bruce and Maurice Mann were going to be the keys to the aerial attack of this team. A lot of new faces.
Second and short, handing off Coburn. Does he have enough? Yes, he does. Looks like Avon Coburn does get the first down just shy of the 45. Although it does look like it'll be very close. No, they are moving the stick, so first down for the Ticats. Coming into this game, Coburn moving closer and closer at 9:28, so needing 72 yards to reach 1,000. In his first year in Hamilton, 1,000 again. He had done it before with Montreal. Sitting fourth in the CFL right now. And passing on first down and under pressure, and they've got him. Down goes Porter. James Patrick is there. Keith Sholigan too.
James Patrick, another of those bright spots for the Rough Riders over the course of this season. Mr. Versatility lining up at the strong side linebacker spot this week. You see him basically spying Quinton Porter, the quarterback, knowing that he's a threat to run the football.
Lost yardage. Second and long. Porter over the middle, too far. Sometimes the wind can work against you too. Had too much on that for Thigpen, so Hamilton moving it a bit, but now faced to punt again. And I have to think, given what Marcel Belfay wants out of this team to prove that they can be a better club on the road, can't be too happy with what he's seeing so far overall.
No, consistency has been the issue for this Hamilton Tiger Cat football team. And yes, you can factor the wind in there a little bit, but bottom line, this team wants to be consistent, and particularly, as you said, Rod, be consistent away from Ivor Wynn.
The long snap bounces to Medlock, who still has plenty of time to get it away. His first punt with the win. Settling down at the 20 is Tristan Jackson, and he's wrapped up. Brandon Denson has him. Taking him down, Nathan Kanya there as well. Now it's Ryan Dinwiddie's turn in Regina.
42 guys on a football team. 41 of them are happy when they've got the wind at their backs. The one guy who hates it, the long snapper, because he's actually got a snap against the wind. And there you see Hamilton's Kevin Scott having a little bit of trouble dealing with that one as he one-hops that one back to his punter, Justin Medlock.
Unfortunately, that time, the Riders weren't sending pressure as they had in the first quarter, back to set up a return, and they didn't get much. They get up around their 26, so Dinwiddie. And against the wind here, and we keep mentioning it because that wind is such a factor in this game. On the ground now, Brandon West, and good yardage up across the 30, about the 38-yard line, so it'll set up a second and short for the Riders.